Hey, it's Angelo Caruso. I wanted to talk for a minute about the speaking business and a problem that a lot of beginning speakers have. I even think that some speakers who are a little bit further down the trail have this problem. Uh, and it probably comes about because speaking seems easier than it really is. A lot of things in life seem easier than they really are. In fact, if you're modeling people who are really good at what they do, by very definition, it seems like what they do is easy, right? I mean, if you're watching a magician who is just magic, if you're watching a magician who is really good, you might actually be convinced that you could do that trick. If you're listening to somebody do karaoke and sing perfectly on pitch and terrific vocal technique and breath control, you could be convinced that you could be that good of a singer, especially if you've had a couple of glasses of wine. And the same is true for painting. I've been watching Bob Ross on YouTube. Now, Bob's a painting instructor, and his whole job is to make you think that you could paint like he can, right? Which is bullshit. I mean, it's never going to work exactly like that, right? In fact, he does a thing at the beginning of his sessions where they flash the paints, the colors of paint that he uses on the bottom of the screen so that you can, quote, paint along with him, which I'm pretty sure is not possible. So what happens is that a bunch of people in the speaking business who make it look kind of easy, and then those people convince a bunch of neophytes or people that want to get into the business or people that have been very successful in another walk of life that they could easily make the jump over to the speaking business and make things happen. And it doesn't work exactly like that for a bunch of reasons. But the one I want to lay out for you today is that you need 5 main things to make it in the speaking business. Now, before I tell you what those 5 things are, I want to create an analogy here that's very useful to the students in my Present Like a Pro online course. I always tell them that speaking is like gardening. And in gardening, you need 5 things in order to grow a great garden, right? And the speakers, the people in the program are so cool. They take notes. This is like a college course, and it's what do they call it? Accelerated course. Where you're learning a bunch of stuff in a short period of time, and so they're always taking notes. And they get out their pens because I say 5 things and nobody can remember 5 things, right? So they write this down. So I give them the 5 things that you need to start a garden. It's really easy to remember. Actually, you don't need a pen. You need the 4 S's and a W to grow a garden, right? So the W is water. You have to have water to grow a garden, unless it's a desert cactus garden or something. But you need water, you need soil, you need seed, sun, and shit, fertilizer. I was going to use fertilizer, but it begins with an F and it's harder to remember. So it's a W and 4 S's, right? Water, soil, sun, seed, and fertilizer to grow a garden. But here's the thing. You have to have all 5 of them at the same time. And people who are getting into the speaking business don't think like that. They think, well, okay, I need 5 things to be successful in the speaking business. And they proceed in a linear fashion to check the first box, then check the second box. I'll tell you what the boxes are in just a second, and check all 5 boxes. And then they think, well, I'll be a professional speaker. But it doesn't work like that. You have to have all 5 of these things at the same time. Got a pen? Here are the 5 things you need to be a successful speaker today. Number 1, you need a modicum of talent. It would be really good if you're good at what you do, because the number 1 rule in speaking is talk about what you know or what you're good at. So if you're not good at anything and you get up to start babbling, imagine the results. So you need a modicum of talent in your area of expertise, whatever that is. Number 2, you actually need some content. Very few speakers. Gary Vaynerchuk is one of them. Speak without notes. It's called extemporaneous or stream of consciousness, right? And they just seem like they're talking off the cuff, which makes it look super easy. And it's the most difficult presentation of all, because you look like an ass if you start repeating yourself or leaving stuff out or running out of things to say. So you need content, and that content should be formatted in some way, right? Uh, the third thing that you need is a pipeline, because you could be the most talented person in the world with a boatload of content, but if nobody is there to hire you, if you're not promoting to meeting planners, for example, or people that have the ability to get you in front of more people, you're never going to become a great speaker, right? So far, talent, content, you need a pipeline. That's the third thing. The fourth thing that helps immensely is being a published author. Now, this is almost counterintuitive. You think that, well, what does writing have to do with speaking? Okay, let's set aside for a second that if you're going to assemble content, you have to write the content, right? Somehow it has to come out on the in a script format of some sort. Even if it's in word pictures, it's still a script, right? So, but being published, say having a book on something, right? Being the person who wrote the book on that topic is a really good feather in your cap. And it allows you to come in at a higher speaking fee, which is one of the things we use to define an accomplished speaker. It's somebody who's getting a good fee. So talent, content, a pipeline, you're published. And then the fifth thing is proof of concept, meaning you're not the only one saying how great you are. And how does that work? Well, you get a bunch of people, ideally titled people, real people, not first names, not initials, JG, but a real person, John Griffin, right? Who happens to be the COO of ABC company, right? And here's his picture. Looks like the real deal. These are people in what are called third-party testimonials or endorsements saying how great you are. And the reason you need testimonials is because when you tell people how great you are, it's advertising. But when John Griffin tells people how great you are, it's the truth. So talent, content, pipeline, you're published, and you have all these great testimonials from people who have heard you speak, paid you to speak, had success with you speaking, all those things. And you have to have all 5 of them at the same time. And that is why it's so hard to make it in the speaking business. You could get them one at a time if you just, chugged it out. But 2.5 years in, you're not making any money, and the people you live with are hungry, right? So one way to get that flywheel spinning and get all 5 of these things in pretty short order is to either work with a coach or follow somebody down, that's been down the trail before. Follow them so closely, like a shadow almost, so that you're picking up on all of the tricks and all of the shortcuts and all the on-ramps necessary in order to get to that space that we call professional speaker. And that's why gardening is like speaking. That's why most people don't make it in the speaking business. You have to have all 5 of the key ingredients at the same time. I'll help you if you want. Message me or reach out online. I'm easy to find on all of the platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, YouTube channel, the Michael Angelo Caruso YouTube channel. Click that silver bell if you want to be notified of new content. I appreciate you. Good luck, and we'll see you on the speaking circuit.